Good morning, y'all, or evening, or afternoon, or night, whichever one you're watching this on. I find it interesting, well, sorta, that there's people like 24 hours a day that will watch my videos, and it's like, man, what are you doing at 3 a.m. watching videos? But then I think they're probably in other parts of the world too, because there's people all over the world. But hopefully you're not like, like Homer Simpson in charge of like a big nuclear plant and you're watching YouTube videos. But anyhow, hope y'all doing good. I'm doing great. Choosing to have a 3 day weekend this week. Um, Next week I'm gonna work 6 days, and then the week after I'll have another 3 day weekend. So thought I'd bring you a video. So why not, right? It's Friday afternoon at about 4:30 Pacific time. So I thought it'd be a great time to figure out what I've been doing and a couple of little portfolio changes that we'll talk about. I might, some of you have been asking, like, what are the pros and cons of preferred shares? That's a damn lie, because ain't nobody asked me what the pros and cons are of preferred shares. But I'm gonna talk about them because I've been dabbling a little bit, and I'm gonna just give you just some basics. We'll go on Fidelity website and talk about preferred shares a little bit. But how's my week in options? Not horrible, but not great. I'm having a tough time finding stuff to sell options on it, and I'm not too bothered by it because I'm making some money and dividends and interest, and I'm working now, so part time. So it's not totally necessary for me to have a whole bunch of income from options. So it doesn't, it doesn't bug me so much, but it would be nice, right? But between options and dividends and interest, I'm making between 1,000 and 1,200 bucks a month. So especially this month anyway. So that's not too shabby, especially when you don't need the income. So to pay your bills. So what did I do this week? This week I closed out my covered call on O because I wanted to keep the shares. It jumped over. The strike was at 55, and it dipped slightly below 55 for a little bit. I was able to get out of it for a small profit. Profited 19 bucks on that, and kept the shares. And I'll look to maybe sell another covered call. Dutch Bros expired today. That was a covered call. Profited 94 bucks there. And then QQQM expired today. Profited 119 bucks there. What did I sell? I sold two things this week. SOXL, $35 strike. I think SOXL's is going down. The chart that I'm looking at, it looks like it might get there. But I think there's some solid support at 35 from what I can look at. Who knows, right? It's all a guess at the end of the day. We went out to June 28th, 35 strike, collected 110 bucks there. And then Dutch Bros, I went out to June 21st, did another covered call, just one at the 40 strike, collected 65 bucks there. I do have 300 shares. Wouldn't mind getting rid of 100 because, this is 300 shares is, we'll look at the percentage, but I think it's about 6-7% of the portfolio. So it's a little bit large. My cost basis is 30-ish, I want to say. So I wouldn't mind, letting 100 shares go if it got to 40, and just trim the position a little bit. But I'm overall bullish on Dutch Bros in a big way. So I don't mind keeping 300 shares either. So that's that. So what do we have? Premium Cooking. All I got left is 104 bucks, which is this TQQQ expiring May 31st. And then we'll be building out June. So that's what I'm trying to build out June a little bit. Because if we look at the quick overview, May, profit 523 bucks, not too shabby. I'm happy with that. Yes, it's not like how it used to be, but there ain't nothing like it used to be, to be honest with you. Look at the quick view notional, only 15,450 bucks. That means how much money you need to cover the options that you got out. So to cover TQQQ, CVS, ABR, and SOXL, if they were all to be assigned to me, I'd need 15,450 bucks. Okay, so that's that. Let's take a quick look. I did sell out of, let's see, what was it? I sold out of preferred share of Riley right before earnings. Now, preferred shares typically don't respond to earnings very, very much, but just in case, I had a pretty decent, I think it was like 20-30% gain in that preferred share. And so I decided to just take it off the table. In 30 days after the wash sale rules are over, if it's still around this price or hopefully cheaper, I'll buy back into it. But I'm just going to keep this here as a placeholder. And I did semi-replace it. Some of you follow me on Instagram, you'll know. I added, I don't remember what it was, 30 shares of LA Land O. That's land preferred share as well, to bring it up to 200. And then also ABR, which is Arbor Realty Trust preferred share, brought that up to 200. So on average, monthly dividend income 668.28, dividend and interest. Okay, because we'll also get an interest from cash that's included there. So between that and option income, I can't complain. So what is preferred stock? It's kind of a hybrid. Okay, if you think about the capital stack of a company, right? You got stockholders, then you got preferred shareholders, then you got bondholders and credit holders. So I think I did that backwards. In order of importance, shareholders are typically last, right? So if they were to go bankrupt, essentially, as a equity shareholder, regular stock shareholder, you're just wiped out for the most part. Preferred shares, you might, I stress might, have a little bit, you might get pennies on the dollar for something if something were to go haywire. Creditors, of course, are going to get the most, and then bondholders. So it's kind of like that. So what they do, they issue shares, preferred shares, at a par value. So it's kind of like a bond. So they issue the share at $25, and then the market decides how much they want to sell those bonds for, right? They could run them up to $30, or they can come down, like in the case of Riley P or Riley Financial. I bought those preferred shares at $14.90. When it ran up to $19.50, I sold out. But I could have held on to them forever and kept that dividend yield on it as long as the company doesn't go bankrupt, right? Because they will typically, I wish I would have had it up here. Right here. Many preferred shares use a percentage in the title. So what you'll see is Riley P, 8.5% preferred Series A or something like that. Now, when you see that 8.5%, that's at the par value. So if they issued those shares, right, and they were saying, okay, we're going to pay this at 8.5% at $25. Well, if you bought that at $15, well, guess what? Your yield on cost is increased, that much. So $14.90. Let's say I should have been prepared for this. Say you're getting $2 a year. I did this wrong. I did this way wrong. And you're getting $2 a year. That's like a 13% yield instead of the 8.5%. that they issued it at. I hope that makes sense. I should have been prepared. I'm not. You're getting what you get. So, well, here, like it says here, holders of preferred shares may recover some or all of the issuance value of their shares in the event of the company's liquidation. Their claims on residual assets would typically rank ahead of common stockholders, but behind bondholders and secured creditors. So you may get something. So the problem with preferred shares, the pro is that you're getting typically they will pay preferred shares before they pay common shares as far as dividends concerned. The first thing that would get cut in a company is typically the common shareholder. So your common stock, if they run into an issue, that would be the first thing to go, would be the common stock dividend. They could also halt a lot of times the preferred shares, but a lot of the preferred shares have what they call a cumulative feature. What that means is they can pause those dividends, but they're going to rack up. Okay. So if they pause it for a year and then they use that money to right their ship and become profitable or whatever their problem is, those they have to repay those dividends that they withheld from the preferreds, but they don't have to repay the commons that missed out. So that's the difference. Now, the other con possibly, is that they can call them away. So they can pay $25 to call them away. So if you're buying if any of you are familiar with closed-end funds, it's kind of similar, where you can buy at a premium or a discount to the value. So if there's a preferred share selling for $30, they can buy those back at 25, right? If it's callable. So there's a lot of intricacies involved with preferred shares, but typically you're capped out at $25, which is the par value, the face value of the preferred share or hybrid bond, if you will. So what else? That's it. Oh, some preferred shares, you'll have to look. Fidelity shows it, but I don't know how to find this information very freely, is that a lot of preferred shares are also qualified dividends. So not only, is it bond-like, it's also qualified dividend income, instead of buying the bond and having it being ordinary interest income. But, every preferred share is different. So if you want to get into it, you're going to have to really dig in and learn about all the different factors that go into preferred shares. And it's pretty interesting to me because, a lot of times you're locking in 7 or 8% or 9, 10. I got one doing like 11% yield on cost, and you're locked in, right? Unless they call those out. Now, if you're buying these preferred shares at $19 and for some reason they decide to call them away, they have to call them away at 25. So if you bought it at 19 and they buy it back at 25, it's a win-win, and not counting all the dividends that you collected over the time. So really interesting. If you want to look into it, there's a couple of ETFs. I think I've done some videos on some ETFs that track or invest in preferred shares. I kind of like looking at individuals personally, but I can understand somebody wanting an ETF. But I think there's PFF, I think is one. PGX, I think is another one. And I don't know. Those are just off of the top of my head. So that's all I got for you guys. Options-wise, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm looking at, if I really wanted to, if I really needed the income, I probably would have sold a few more of these SOXLs And if they dip a little bit more, I'll look to add a lower strike and a couple more contracts. But that's about it. So hope you guys enjoy your weekend. And oh, happy Mother's Day to any mothers that I freaking forgot about last week. And you know, forgot to mention it. But happy Mother's Day. If there's any mother, I know there's at least one mother watching my video. So, and some of you guys are some mothers too. So anyway, hope you guys have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye. I am not a financial advisor. The information contained in this video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. It is not intended to be investment advice. Please seek a licensed professional for any investment, tax, or legal advice. Thank you.